Good day to you wherever you are listening in from, and welcome back to Goldrush Crypto Daily. I hope you're all having a fantastic day because, folks, today we've got something truly exciting brewing in the world of crypto. And yes, it involves none other than Zebec network. If you've been following the channel, you know we love spotting the setups before they explode. And today, everything's lining up for Zebec in a way that could be absolutely monumental. We're talking institutional partnerships, potential US payroll integrations, and some serious real-world adoption catalysts. Now, before we jump in, if you enjoy these updates and want to stay ahead of the curve in crypto, smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily coverage. Alright, let's get right into it. So, let's start with something that just came across my feed. Bruno Alves, Balls Wanderer, shared some absolutely fascinating insights about Zebec's very first institutional partner Circle. Now why does this matter? Well, Circle isn't just any player. They're already partnered with Solana, actively expanding enterprise programmable payments, and now they're immediately compatible with Zebec's USDC streaming model. That's huge because Circle effectively acts as a bridge to some of the biggest institutions on the planet. We're talking Visa, banks, and major card networks. Imagine this for a second. Visa Direct has already shown willingness to integrate Solana-based rails. If they use Zebec for instant merchant settlements, recurring payments, payroll, or even cross-border payouts, we're talking the ultimate institutional endgame for ZBCN. And let's not forget ADP, the payroll giant. Zebec's identity aligns perfectly with payroll, streaming wages, corporate treasury, and benefits automation. Essentially, we're looking at a blockchain version of Stripe, but for payroll. And in Bruno's thread, he mentions a bullish $2 target by 2030. Now, I know that sounds ambitious, but given the institutional groundwork, it's not fantasy. It's plausible if adoption continues on this trajectory. Everything here points to the setup being incredibly solid. Circle brings the enterprise access, Visa and ADP bring the mainstream payment rails, and Zebec sits right in the middle as the engine for real-time streaming payments. This is what I call the calm before the storm. Speaking of payroll, Crypto Lord, iCryptXLXRD, dropped an interesting what-if scenario that has the community buzzing. What if Zebec announces a US payment integration with ADP and UKG, United Kronos Group? Now, just to give you some perspective, ADP has a market valuation of over $104 billion, and UKG sits at $22 billion. If Zebec's streaming tech somehow integrates with these giants, the potential is, honestly, just mind-blowing. We're talking trillions of dollars in annual payroll, flowing in real-time on-chain. And don't forget, Zebec already has connections here. Lisa Robbins, former ADP CFO, is on the advisory board, plus other ADP veterans. They've even acquired PayBridge to interface directly with ADP systems for compliance and wage streaming. So this isn't just speculation, it's grounded in existing relationships and tech readiness. Let's listen carefully to this short clip of the Zebec conversation with Lisa Robbins on the Future of Money series.
How did ADP go about overcoming those challenges?
Right. So interestingly enough, I started at ADP when it was a $400 million business and it was just payroll. And I ended when it was a $15 billion business that was human capital management, 1 million customers, 50 solutions. And the reality of it is that the challenges were the same, just at, wildly different scale. So the first challenge, which pretty much all businesses have, but in particular in the payroll business, which is macroeconomic, right? So payroll and the pricing around payroll and payments related to payroll are very much tied to employment. They're tied to hires, the number of people that are transacting. The toughest challenges actually were keeping up with the pace of innovation. So when you are software, a SaaS, or an innovation technology company, it's extraordinary the pace with which you need to continuously improve, whether it's your core solution, your core platform, your platform needs maintenance. Suddenly you have tons of competitors, which obviously in the payment and the payroll space is a lot, and you need to keep up with that competition and that technology.
Keeping up with innovation was really critical at ADP, and it can be both an opportunity and a challenge. And at Zebec, innovation really is one of the core tenets of our ethos and what we strive for every day. It's always good to hear that these are the things that make a company successful in the long run as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, fantastic. So another
If this happens, even partially, we could see ZBCN adoption skyrocket. The community is projecting 15 to 45 cents in the short term and $1 or more in the long term just from a single integration. That's the kind of bullish momentum we've been waiting for. And, honestly, it feels like everything is lining up for a major announcement in the coming week. This is classic accumulation phase stuff. Smart money quietly stacking at the bottom, and retail will eventually follow when the headline drops. The setup couldn't look better. Now, moving on to some mainstream validation. ZBCN Man, ZBCN Man, shared a gem from Forbes back in 2023 where Zebec was mentioned alongside Ripple and Stellar, and guess what it was about? FedNow, the Federal Reserve's instant payment system. Here's why this matters. 80% of global financial leaders are planning to adopt crypto in the next 3 years to speed up slow traditional payment rails. Zebec being highlighted alongside XRP and XLM shows early recognition from financial media that this isn't some fly-by-night experiment. It's real-world tech with real-world use cases, and with Zebec's streaming payment model, we're talking about frictionless global transactions, payroll automation, and even financial inclusion for businesses and individuals alike. These aren't hypothetical applications. This is where ZBCN could realistically make a massive impact over the next few years. So, if you've been wondering whether Zebec has credibility beyond the crypto community, this is your answer. Forbes saw it, TradFi is testing it, and the market is quietly preparing for adoption. This is exactly the kind of story that gets the price momentum moving before the headlines hit mainstream. Alright, now here's where things get seriously interesting. Institutional flows for ZBCN are heating up like you wouldn't believe. ZBCN Man tracked some huge movements in the past 2 weeks. FalconX wallets bought 12.5 million ZBCN, then another 15 million. Coinbase Prime Whales stacked 8.2 million, Uphold staking pools 6.7 million, and Wintermute OTC desks 7.1 million. In total, nearly 50 million ZBCN moved into cold storage and staking in just 2 weeks. That's over $160,000 in institutional accumulation. Now let's break this down. Circle's ARC testnet is live with over 100 TradFi giants, Visa, MasterCard, BlackRock, State Street, and more, testing USDC settlements and programmable payroll. This is enterprise adoption in action, and ZBCN sits at the center as the real-time payroll engine. Combine that with staking burns and supply reductions, over 2 million ZBCN torched monthly, and you're looking at a supply shock by the first quarter of 2026. Meanwhile, enterprise adoption volumes could generate over $1 billion in total value locked, driving demand for ZBCN gas and revenue buybacks. This is pure math, folks, not hype. Price projections. From just 0.3 cents today to somewhere between 44 and 68 cents in 2026. And honestly, the network effects are insane. Already 18 chains, aiming for over 50 by mid-2026, plus a MasterCard rollout happening globally. We're literally watching the setup for a multi-year bullish cycle unfold right before our eyes. If this isn't the calm before a storm, I really don't know what is. This is accumulation phase, perfection. Smart money stacking quietly while retail is still catching on. Switching gears for a moment, Simon, also known as Simon Beldian, gave the community a quick update on Zebec's NHL placements. Now Zebec is the first token company to advertise directly with the league, which is honestly huge for brand visibility and legitimacy. The NHL requested a bit more time to approve ads, so placements are being slightly adjusted. But here's the key. This is about trust and transparency. Zebec is navigating the process properly, working with their agency to secure approvals, and making sure that when the ads go live, they have maximum impact. Think about it. Stadium billboards, jersey giveaways, direct fan engagement. This is mainstream marketing that puts ZBCN in front of tens of thousands of eyes, all while aligning with their US payments rollout. Minor delay? Sure. But in the big picture, this just strengthens the long-term narrative. Community reactions are split, but personally, I see this as a positive. Trust, patience, and legitimacy, all crucial when scaling adoption for a token like ZBCN. Finally, Corey, Corey's 245414, highlighted just how viral the community is making Zebec content. A teaser for a major US payments integration already hit almost 170,000 views. Now this is critical. Community engagement drives awareness, adoption, and, ultimately, demand for the token. ZBCN's market cap is just $278 million today. That's small enough for early moves to be significant, but large enough to attract institutional attention. The more viral these teasers go, the higher the odds that Zebec secures key partnerships with FedNow Visa Direct or ADP. It's a perfect storm: tech readiness, institutional access, and massive community support. This is exactly the kind of momentum that precedes price discovery phases. The eyes are watching, the whales are stacking, and the partnerships are forming. All the pieces are falling into place. So, to wrap things up, what do we take from all of this? Patience, positivity, and a clear view of the setup. Zebec is moving quietly but decisively. Partnerships with Circle, potential US payroll integrations with ADP and UKG, institutional flows, staking burns, and mainstream marketing. I genuinely believe ZBCN is positioned for massive upside over the next few years, and even if short-term volatility hits, the long-term narrative is clear enterprise adoption, real-world utility, and a growing community of believers. I appreciate every single one of you tuning in today. If you found this helpful, smash that like button, drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe. We've got another massive update coming tomorrow. This is Goldrush Crypto Daily. Keep your eyes on the charts, your heart in the game, and let's get rich together. Not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions.